Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are doing multiplication of decimals today. I asked you to do 4 of those problems on the board. I am team shaking it up, and I'm calling on people to help me with the problem. So Paul, pick one of those. You came up, team shake first. Paul, pick one of those problems, and you and I are going to work it together.
Okay. 5 point.
No, we don't say point.
Okay. 5 43
5 and 43 hundredths.
Okay. And 8 and 9 tenths.
8 and 9 tenths. Notice when I wrote it, I did not line up the decimal points. You don't do that when you multiply. Come on now, folks. Paul, do you have your paper? You following along here? You can do this, dude. All right, Paul, we're going to estimate. 5 and 43 hundredths is close to what whole number? Say 5. 8 and 9 tenths is closest to what?
9.
9. So our estimate is going to be 5 times 9, which is what, Paul? 45. So if you chose this problem, your answer should be in the ballpark of 45. Somewhere in that ballpark, if you chose that problem to do. Now, Paul, our first step when multiplying with decimals after we estimate, and you need to estimate before you do the problem. There's 0 point in estimating after you do the problem. That's just called rounding your answer. That's not estimating. I'm just saying. When we multiply with decimals, we rewrite the problems, leaving out the decimal points. And then we just multiply it like we were in 5th grade and we learned to multiply 3-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. So Paul, let's start with our ones place, Paul. 9 times 3 is what, Paul? 27. So 7 ones, 2 tens. Paul, 9 times 4 is what?
36.
Plus 2 more tens is 38 tens. So 38 tens is the same 380. Paul, 9 times 5 is?
45.
Plus 3?
48.
48. So what we just did, Paul, is we multiplied 543 times 9. But now, Paul, we have to multiply 543 times, what's the value? What place value is the 8 in?
10.
Tens. So what's the value of 8 tens? If Silas gave you 8 $10 bills, how much do you have?
80.
80. So since the 8 is in the tens place, all we're really doing is multiplying 543 times 80. That's it, Daniel. 543 times 80. Now we're starting in the tens place, which is why my 0 goes there. If I was multiplying 543 times 80, I would just have to move that 0 down. So, Paul, 8 times 3 is? 24. Carry my 2. 8 times 4 is? 32 plus 2 is 34. And 8 times 5 plus 3? 43. We add this together. Paul, what is 7 plus 0?
7.
Paul, what is 8 plus 4? 12. Paul, what is 8 plus 4 plus 1? 13. Paul, what is 4 plus 1 plus 3? 8. Good. Now, we know our estimate was around 45. That's going to help us figure out where we put our decimal point, Eric. It's going to really help us. But also, we can go back and look. Paul, how many numbers are behind the decimal point in this problem? 3. If there are 3 numbers behind the decimal point in the problem, there have to be 3 behind it in the answer. So that's also going to help you figure out where the decimal point goes in. Paul, is that answer reasonable compared to our estimate?
Yes.
Okay, good. But if you estimate first, you're not going to make a silly mistake and put your decimal point over or after the 3. That would just be silly, raw chicken squeezy. Isn't that how the saying goes?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. It doesn't go like that. All right, let's look. Our next Team Shake Vic candidate is Chase. Pick one of those problems that hasn't been done yet.
1.
Okay, how do I say it?
32 and 6 times
32 and 6
10
tenths.
times 2 and 4 tenths.
32 and 6 tenths times 2 and 4 tenths. Let's just look in front of the decimal point. What is 32 times 2? Oh, you can do that in your head. 64. So our estimate's going to be somewhere around 64. It's going to be more than 64 because we took 32 and 6 tenths and made it smaller. We just looked at the whole number estimation. So our estimate is around 64. Boom. All right, Paul, that's crazy. I called Chase. Chase, we're going to rewrite these without the decimal points. 326 times 24. The first thing we're going to do is 326 times 4. Chase, what is 326 times 4? You didn't do it already? Why would you pick the problem you haven't done yet?
I didn't do it that way.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's it.
1,304, are you sure? You don't think I accidentally put the wrong answer up there?
No, I just.
Okay, good. And then we're going to do 326 times 20, because that's 2's in the tens place. 2 tens is the value of 20. And since Chase hasn't done that, it was 12, 4, 6, 4, 2, 8, 7. Yep. How many numbers are behind the decimal point in my problem, Chase?
2.
2. Has to be 2 behind it in the answer. So you should have gotten 78 and 24 hundredths if Chase and I did our math correct. Is that somewhere in the ballpark of our estimate, Chase? Yeah. I mean, it's more in our ballpark than if we put the decimal point in any of the other locations. But some of you want to do is move your decimal point straight down, and you can't do that. No. That's why we estimate. It makes our life easier, and we make fewer mistakes that way, and it doesn't make you cry. Erica, pick one of the problems that hasn't been done yet.
Number 2.
Number 2. How do you say it?
484 hundredths
Thousandths.
and times 73.
Good. 484 thousandths times 73. All right. Interesting here. 484 thousandths. Is that less than or greater than 1? Less. That means my answer is going to be less than 73. Now let me ask you this. 483 thousandths. Is that less than or greater than a half? Less than a half. So my answer is going to be less than half of 73. So if you did that one and you're looking at your paper and your answer is not less than half of 73, we've done something wrong. So that's all I know right now. We have less than half of 73. That's all I know right now. Is I have less than half of 73 should be that's my estimate. I'm just saying. What's half of 70, Erica? Do you know? 35. Okay? So it's going to be in the ballpark of 35 maybe. Erica, we're going to rewrite it, ignoring my decimal points. We're going to start with our ones place. 3 times 4 is what, Erica? 12. Carry the 1. We have 12 ones, which is the same as 1 10 and 2 ones. 3 times 8 is what, Erica? 24 plus 1 is?
25.
25 tens. So we have 5 tens and 2 hundredths. 3 times 4 is what, Erica?
12.
Plus 2?
14.
14. Put my 0. And now we multiply 7 times 4 is what, Erica? 20 weight. That's not even a
28.
number. 28. 8. Carry my 2. 7 times 8 is what, Erica?
56.
Plus 2 more?
57. 58.
58. 7 times 4 is what, Erica?
28.
Plus 5?
33.
33. We're going to add 13, 12, 13, 5, 35. How many numbers are behind my decimal point in the problem, Erica?
5.
No,
I
no.
mean, 3.
3. Just the 4, the 8, and the 4. So there have to be 3 behind it in the answer. So 35 and 332 thousandths. That's less than half of 73. That is less than half of 73. Boom shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you. Do something kind today. Subscribe, save the beast.